Oh, yes. Welcome to another beautiful conversation on Peculiar Stars Talk Show. We're looking on to give this session a name, but we'll think about it as we go along. If you have any suggestions for us, just put in the comment section as regards what we should call this show. And we'll see what we'll do about that. But yes, for now, it is PSL Talk Show, and topic for today is jealousy. I feel that this topic is a very, very, very controversial topic. It's something that people shy away from and people kind of underestimate. I think most of us sometimes at some point in our lives, we feel that pang of jealousy. Maybe not necessarily that we feed it, but at some point in everybody's life, there is that point where you feel like, should I, or it might be like, oh, I don't want somebody to take this from me, or it might be a form of, I wouldn't say envy, but it might be a form of envy. And also, I feel like jealousy actually runs deep, and it's something that cuts across family relationships, friendships, marriages, what networks, business relationships, and even within organizations. You can see it, you can feel it in politics, you can hear it sometimes by the smallest detail of what somebody says or their actions. You can actually feel this tension called jealousy. And I feel like I also think that it has actually it has extended to the point whereby it also affects the economy. So if you see what's going on when it comes to greed, corruption, power, I think it comes to I dare say that jealousy is part of the root cause of greed, corruption, and the need to actually want to have power. If somebody else has it, why can't I have it? And it just goes on and on. So it can cause a lot of havoc, as we can see around us. But then the question is there an unhealthy jealousy? Or let me start with this. What is the difference between jealousy and envy? Because sometimes we actually use it interchangeably. But when you hear jealousy, what comes to your mind? My name is Folake. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Hafal Akemi, and I'm the host for today. And today with me is Didi Adebola. Thank you so much. And Adebola, as usual, is co-hosting with me and will always do. Yes, so Adebola, what do you think about jealousy? When you hear jealousy, what comes to mind?
Yeah, for me, jealousy is basically a feeling of resentment.
Okay.
In terms of maybe someone's achievements, possessions, or most times in relationships. I think jealousy and relationships are so close. Like in most relationships, you find jealousy, especially relationships in terms of maybe you have a best friend to best friend kind of relationship or a dating kind of relationship. So jealousy comes in occasions like that. And I feel jealousy is a big thing. Like it can be healthy, and then at the same time it can be unhealthy. It becomes unhealthy when there's a bit of toxicity in it. Like it's no longer, oh, you are upset about this and then you can forget about it. It's something that keeps on building in you, like it keeps on increasing. Oh, you can be jealous about this today and then you're not able to forget about that particular thing you're jealous about. It keeps increasing and then slowly it turns into anger. And then from there it gets to other things. So
the difference between jealousy and envy, what differentiates it?
Okay, for me, I feel like they're almost the same thing.
Yeah.
I think they are the same thing in my own
So
opinion.
can we say that when you're jealous, you're envious?
Yeah.
Or when you're envious,
Yeah.
you can be envious and not jealous. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I feel like jealousy is, most times people talk about jealousy in like romantic relationships. Like, oh, I'm jealous. Well, maybe not most times, but like with the word is used when somebody has something or you want something that somebody has. No, that is envy. Envy is you wanting something that somebody has. When you feel like somebody is at a better advantage than you are, and it's something that you want, then you want that thing. I'm like, oh my God, this person has this thing and I also want it. That is envy. But jealousy is having something and maybe you're scared that somebody is going to take it away from you. That comes in, then you're going to be possessive of that person. You don't want anybody to come near that person. But then jealousy can also be in what way do we actually like I think we're jealous when we're comparing and we are envious when we're comparing at the same time. It kind of means the same thing, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, can you be jealous? Can you be one and not the other? Or when you're one, I think that at first it starts with jealousy. Like, oh my God, this person has this thing, maybe. And then it can grow into envy. Then you want what that person has. Then from envy, you can then go deeper than that. Then it can be so toxic. And then the person can start acting stupid or doing funny things. And then, then it can be negative and become more dangerous. So can we say, if you're listening to us, just put your comments. What do you think about the differences between jealousy and envy? And what are your thoughts on the differences? Do you have any experiences where you're jealous and not envious, or where you're envious and not jealous? Like, can we actually separate it? I think that's something to think about. Yeah. Go on, Dee.
Okay, so why people feel jealous? It could be because maybe, let me give a scenario where in an organization, maybe you both entered, like you both started working together in that organization, and then the other person keeps getting promoted, keeps getting this offer, this contract, and then you're just there, like nothing interesting is going on. So you can start feeling like, what is so special about this person that I don't have? And why does this person keep getting promoted and all that? Then in friendships, that one is something I've experienced before, where I had a best friend and I wasn't ready to share my best friend. In fact, seeing her with other people would just make me feel left out and feel upset about the fact that we're best friends. So it's like, it was just like I wanted her for myself. But then thinking about it, like one person can't just be with you like for life.
So but you're going to get married. One person has to be with you for life. Do you know there's this thing that they say? Like I as a teenager, I got to realize that when I was a teenager, actually, I got to realize that sometimes, and that this can, what I'm gonna say, it can be a very tricky one. I know people that have best friends. But I feel like in this world that we are in, somebody that you call your best friend, you have to be sure that you are the person's best friend as well. Because somebody that you call your best friend might not see you as a best friend, might have another best friend. So it can be a very tricky. So you have to be sure that you are on the same page as you get. If I'm saying you're my best friend, are you saying I am also your best friend? And that is where it would work. But if you are just clinging onto the person and the person doesn't see you the way you see them, then there's a problem. And I think that this also is true for marriages. Like if you're in love with that person and the person is not in love with you, definitely the Bible also says that can two work together except they agree. So it can't work. So I think that when it comes to best friend, it can be a tricky one, except you both are on the same page. But I understand the jealousy part, because I remember when I was in high school, okay, I don't know if she's going to say this, there are times I had best friends as well. Like, I won't call them best friend, but it was like as if you were rolling together with this person and you just felt like this is the person, you know, like you guys will always be together. And if you're more of an introvert, when I was younger, I was more of an introvert. I think I would say I am. If any of my friends watching this, please. I would say I am, but then you realize that maybe you have one friend, or if you're this kind of person that you don't open up to so many people, like you have one person that you kind of cling to, and then after a while you might move on to another person, something like that. So you might have, I had that problem, like I just had one person, like, and I just felt that was for me, and then before I knew it, this person was another person, or which was in another group, and you know, and after a while, and I couldn't even confront the issue, you know. As young, I couldn't you know, like you go and meet the person and be like, oh, why are you going to somebody else? I don't think I addressed it as a then, but some people addressed it, but I couldn't. So you just like, I think it will feel like an heartbreak, but then you just like go on with it, and you just deal with it like, oh, maybe that's part of life, and you just go on with it. But I understand the friendship part, the friendship of jealousy. But then it gets more complicated when it is, now I'm going to be treading on sensitive, when it comes to siblings jealousy, or maybe family jealousy. Like maybe somebody is doing very well, or maybe one of your cousins is the one that always gets first. I was younger, my younger sister is going to see this, like she used to be like the one that is always very good, you know, that kind of a thing. And sometimes they call us together and they give us maths or whatever, like teach us like homeworks and all that. My dad used to try to teach us maths then and everything. And that was when we were way younger. And somehow, before they say 2 plus 2, my younger sister has come up with the answer, and I'm still there trying to think. Oh my God, I used to be so annoyed. Like, why can't you just shut up? Like, why can't you just chill for me to talk? And then everybody will be looking at you like, she doesn't know it. Then before you know it, there's this pang of jealousy that just fills you. Like, you just feel like, how come she's the one always answering the question? And I think that's one of the reasons we're talking about these issues is because it sometimes it just goes way deep on the minutest details. And as kids, you know, children, you can just think about the simplest thing that could make you feel different, that can make you feel like you're not part of the crew. And then it will just take another thing that will make you like, okay, yeah, I'm good as well. And when it comes to, you were talking about LD and non-LD jealousy. And I think that LD jealousy is when you can take that jealousy and it does one. LD jealousy would not move to the next stage of envy. It will not move, it will not be toxic. You would see that, okay, this person is actually good. That is why they're better. Or it's not like they're better than me. They're doing something that I am not doing that is making them look good. Can I do it? And then you make that event or that incident as a motivating factor for you to move to the next level. I think that that's LD jealousy. Well, when you hear jealousy, it comes out as negative, like you're jealous, like it comes out negative. But nowadays, like even my friends, like sometimes, like when I'm chatting with them, like, man, I envy you. Like we just chat about like, oh my God, you're doing well, like you're good, like I'm jealous, so you know, that kind of thing. But obviously, it's like you're joking about it. You're jealous, like you wish them well, but you wish that, oh man, that car you just bought is so good, like I'm jealous, so you know, kind of a thing. But it's not like you mean it very bad. You don't wish them anything evil, but you just want, you're seeing it as something good and you wish you could have it. And I don't think that there's anything bad in wishing that you could have something, but then it becomes negative, unhealthy, when you now start thinking about it, like you said, and then you're thinking about how to convert that thing from that person. You start thinking about, oh, the person doesn't deserve it, or you start thinking about bad things, start cooking up stories or start thinking evil about that person. Then I think at that stage it becomes unhealthy, because now you're not even saying that, oh, like what they say, that when God visits your neighbor, it means that God is close. Like it could be your turn, and so it could be your turn. Like, and if you want it, you can just ask your friend, well, how did you get your car, or how did you get that job, also, can you help me, can you link me up, or what did you do, can you tell me what you did, and then I could get it as well. That is if it is what you want as well, because when it comes to jealousy, it can be a very tricky one. I can remember that I read a book once, and it was saying something about, you're jealous. The only reason why people are jealous is if you're jealous because you want, you're thinking you're not where you ought to be, and somebody else is where you want to be, then you become jealous of that person. And you can even become envious of that person. You can become toxic. Yes. So most times what I pray, one of the ways where I try as much as possible, for me, when I feel that pang of jealousy coming in, I just like talk to myself, because you can feel a pang of jealousy for different things. It could be that you see somebody very beautiful and has a perfect shape. Honestly, it can be for females, it can be as bad as that. Like, you might just see somebody like so nice, and maybe the person's got 3 kids, and oh my God, and she's just got the perfect shape. Like, she doesn't have a big tummy, she's got a fat tummy, like she's so thin, like, oh my God, why can't somebody just like, she's not even looking like mommy. Yeah. And I know some females feel that as well, And the question you ask yourself is, because there's so many things. Let's use that, for example. Let's say it's the perfect shape. Like, she just wears a dress, and this person, she's not makeup, and she just looks good, for not just cause the person's just looking good and it's giving you a headache. I think the first question you ask yourself, because there are some things that are genetics. Like, she might eat all the food and she won't get fat because it's not in her gene to get fat. Like, there's nothing she can do. But if that's where you want to be, like, you want to look as good as that. But the truth is, you can't even look like her, because her father is not your father, her mother is not your mother. So you would only look like there's no way you will look like her. But fine, you can trim up, you can exercise, you can diet, you can do this and that. So the question you ask yourself is, okay, what can I do to be as good if you're dreaming to be that? So in most cases, like, maybe when I feel a pang of jealousy, the first question I ask myself is, why am I feeling that way? Like, where she is, or where he is, or what that person has, is that what I want? Because sometimes we look at things on the surface. Maybe you just see somebody and just be like, oh my God, she's driving the most beautiful car, or something like that. Or maybe this person, I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had that car. But the question I ask myself is, can I pay for that car? If I can't, there's no reason for me to start coveting it. Exactly. Okay, so if I want that car, what can I do to get that car?
Get that car.
That would be my next question. And moreover, the person might be driving the most beautiful car. Fine. But the next question, when I just feel that pang, I just speak to myself. I just snip it in the body immediately, like, really, is that what I really want? Because these are conversations, and I believe that each and every day people should evaluate their life every now and then, because when they do, they're able to, like, you won't feel a form of jealousy. Like, if every day, like, maybe like culturally you have objectives and you're meeting your objectives. So at different points in time, even when you see something different or you see something similar to what you want, as long as you've met your objectives, you're on track. There's no reason for you to start feeling like, oh, this person has graduated, or this person, because you're on track. Like, I was supposed to, like, enter uni. I'm in uni and I'm going to graduate as well. So why should I be feeling bad because somebody else graduated? Do you get my point? And if the person is a medical doctor, I am not a medical doctor. I had the opportunity to be a medical doctor. I don't want to be a medical doctor. Exactly. So there's no reason for me to be feeling jealous that somebody's a medical doctor, because the question I ask myself is, do I want to be a medical doctor? No. So why should I feel jealous that somebody's a medical doctor? So that doesn't make sense. I may like the hype that maybe people give to the person as regards, oh, doctor today. I may like the hype. But do I want to be who the person is? Maybe no. So if I want the hype, I will ask myself, whatever I'm doing now, how good can I be that I can get that same hype? That's the question. And am I working towards that? Then when I get home, I just re-strategize and be like, okay, I want to be so in my area, so much more that I can get that kind of hype. If that's the hype I want, that kind of it. So I feel like the way to deal with jealousy, so much more that it doesn't go into envy, is every time you evaluate yourself, give yourself set objectives, know what you want. So when you know what you want, you know your objectives, you set it. Whichever objectives another person is setting for themselves, whatever goal they're attaining, is none of your business. Yeah. And then in your mind, in your record, in your books, you're doing good. That should be enough, and even if you have to recheck it or change it or whatever, then you know that, okay, I've got work to do. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes, even when we're envying or we're getting jealous of someone, okay, for example, now, if I want to be jealous of Jeff Bezos, that is the owner of Amazon. The question now, even if I'm jealous from now till next year, there is nothing I can do. The question I ask myself is, can I put the work that he has put in, I can only go as far as I can go. Do you get? Is it possible? Yes. What can I do? And I will just keep doing it. But to get to where he is today, is not, I can't feel jealous. Why would I be jealous of Jeff Bezos? For Christ's sake, like, how can I? Do you get? Like, it doesn't, like, so there are some things that every now and then, when I think that people that, like, when it gets to toxicity or something, it's a thinking process. I feel like people need to sit down and evaluate themselves and think about stuff. Is when you don't have strategies, you don't have objectives, you're not actually putting pen on paper, then you're jealous of anything. You see somebody on a nice outfit, you're jealous and you're angry. Why? Do you get? You see somebody because the question, even if the person tells you, I bought this for £20,000, can you even afford £20,000? So why are you jealous? So even if the person says, okay, come and take, do you know, if they give some of these people that's like, maybe like people that are like very envious or something, even if somebody gives them the £20,000, like the cloth, they might actually sell it. They won't wear it because they need the money and the cloth. So why are you jealous? Because there is always work to do. And sometimes not everybody everybody has a limit, honestly. Not everybody can put as much effort into something. I know that with Christ, we can do all things, but not everybody can give birth to, in context, not everybody can give birth to 20 children. But there's some people that have given birth to 20 children. Not everybody can give birth to 10 children. Not because there's something wrong with them, but they just don't have the strength for it. Not everybody can give birth to 4 kids. Some people, 2 kids, they're okay, they're tired, they can't go anymore. Not because they can't, not because there's something wrong with them elsewise or whatever, like they can get pregnant, but they don't just want to, So I think that, so sometimes everybody, we all have the extent to which we can go, and we should just know it. And when we see other people, we just appreciate them. Like, there's some things I know that I can't do, and there's some things I know that even if I can do them, I wouldn't do them. Yeah. And when I see people doing them, oh my God, I appreciate them. I'm like, oh my God, man, you are bold. That's all. Like, you are bold. Like, I like you. And I don't hide it. I just tell you, like, you are bold. I like you, like, for real. Because I know that I can't do it. But I appreciate you, like it's for you. As you keep up the work, that kind of a thing. But it's not everybody that can do certain things. Everybody have their strengths and weaknesses. But I believe that as long as you are doing well where you are, you're achieving your own personal objectives that you've set for yourself, then that's good. There's no reason to be jealous. I hope I am. Yeah. So my question to you would now be, havoc. What kind of havoc does jealousy cause? Like, yeah, to what extent?
So I think it can mess up who you are as a person.
Sure.
In the sense that you now lose control of your emotions. Because the thing about jealousy is it keeps on building up. From jealousy, you start getting angry over very petty things. From there, you can even start hating the person you're jealous about, maybe because the person is not resting on whatever they are doing. So you start getting angry that, even despite the fact that he has this, he's still getting this and more and more and more. So you start hating the person, I don't like this person. When the person should do something, instead of appreciating them and looking for ways to maybe get better through them, you now start saying, that's where you start hearing comments like, he's not even that good, he's not even that nice, that kind of thing. Yes. So I feel like it can lead to hatred, and then you would become negative as a person. You won't look forward to positive things somehow, because you're filled with so much anger and resentment for that person. So all you just be thinking about is maybe ways to bring that person down. The funny part is that you will now focus on yourself again. Is now that person's life you'll be focusing on. You're there checking the person's every move to see whether they've done something new, and that way you forget about your own growth while you're monitoring another person's own. So for me, it's to build hatred. Then you won't be satisfied.
True.
You won't be satisfied with anything. You feel like, if this thing is small compared to that other person's own, why can't my own be this big? Even after you now get that big thing that person upgrades again, you feel like that thing you just got.
And the person you say that person upgrades. Honestly, that's the most, because the person's objective.
The person is just living their life.
And then you don't
like the one with the headache. So the person is just upgrading on their own. It's not my business. I have the money to do this. I have the skills to do this. Why can't I go for it? So you'll be the one feeling most of the pain, actually, another person's problem on you. And then one thing I would like to add about jealousy I feel like that's why most relationships turn out to be something else, turn out to be violence later, because it could just be something, maybe the partner is not giving enough attention to the other partner, and then maybe it is, let's say the guy now, the girl is not giving the guy so much attention, and then he complains about it, you're not giving me attention, blah, 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 blah. And they fix it. And then again, unconsciously, it could be unconsciously, and then she repeats the same mistake again. And then it's like, I've spoken to you about this before, so why is it happening? And then from there, that's where you hear things like, maybe he got really upset and it became violence, in the process, I've been telling you constantly that this is the problem, but you still keep on doing it, because in the person's opinion, is a normal thing. You should make sacrifices in a relationship. So the person might just see it as a sacrifice, but then it builds up this anger in the partner, and then it turns into something else.
So I'm actually wondering, before you go on, I feel like it's awkward. Yes. The question. Let me make a question. Is it right for partners to feel jealous of each other? some people feel like it's necessary, like there should be a form of jealousy, like, like when your partner is trying to talk to some other girls, it's because he loves, or maybe like most times it's always for girls, like when a girl is talking to another boy, and then the husband or the boyfriend or whatever, as young as you remember, and he's feeling, they're like, he's necessary, she's feeling jealous, it means that he loves you. Like people say that stuff, like it means that he loves you. When it's not like kind of husband, like you can't talk to somebody when you're talking to somebody else. Guys, like, why are you talking to? Why are you too close to that guy and everything? It's like he's still LD. It means that he's jealous. As long as it's not like beating you and all that. Is that actually right? Like, should a partner, should a husband or a boyfriend or whatever, or a friend feel jealous for the other person? Now, it's reminding me of the relationship that you said you had. Like, your friend should be for you alone.
Yes, for me, I don't think it's right, because you can't control jealousy. You can't control other things it will come along with it. It could be nice at first to know, okay, your partner cares about you. Your partner is worried you're talking to someone else, but then at a point it would increase, definitely, because the person will now just, yes, in a relationship, you are for the person and the person is for you. But then at the same time, it cannot just all be about, us in a relationship. There should be this kind of, not freedom per se, but we should be flexible as a couple, if that makes sense. In the sense that I should be able to relate, maybe in my workplace, I should be able to relate with people, and then not have any thoughts in your mind that, something might be going on between us both. So in my own opinion, I don't think it's right.
Right.
I don't think it's something we should encourage. You should talk to your partner immediately and let them understand that, okay, this is not how it should be. You shouldn't feel this way. You shouldn't. Not that they will tell you that he loves you. He might not love you.
That's why he's jealous. I think those kind of relationships, at the end of the day, when they get married and everything, it becomes, the guy might become possessive, or the woman might become possessive, and it's like, you can't go out, you can't do this, and you're scared of talking to somebody else. You have to tell him what time you're coming back, that kind of thing. So it becomes bam, 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 and sometimes it actually leads to abuse, and because the person is, I don't want to talk about trust, but I think trust also affects that relationship, because then we're delving into some other topic entirely. But yes, jealousy in relationships, I think it's it should not be encouraged. I agree with you. Yes. I think that is it today. Do you have any concluding remarks on jealousy?
For me, jealousy shouldn't. Healthy jealousy is good. You should see it as a way to motivate yourself to do better things, and not see it as a way to bring someone down or make someone feel bad about. Because at times people can be very funny, like you don't even know the effort the person has put into getting where they are, and then you're just like comparing yourself to the person. Everything is a stage, everything is a process. So in as much as you might want somebody's thing or someone's promotion, you should appreciate your own growth, appreciate where you are at all times, and not drive away from where you are into monitoring another person's every move. So that's it from me.
Thank you so much. Yes, I have learned a lot today, and it's jealousy, and we don't want to actually encourage jealousy. If you're listening to us today, and if you've listened to us today, I think that, and if you feel any pang of jealousy before it develops into envy or any form of negativity or toxicity, I think that the first thing is to evaluate yourself. Why are you jealous? What is that thing that you're jealous of? Write it down, put it on paper, and then think about, is this something that you really want? If you know why you're jealous of this thing, then you can deal with it. That's the root cause. And if it's something that you can work on, it's something that you can achieve, if it's something that you can achieve, then you can work on yourself in achieving it. But then I feel like comparing yourself with somebody else is, oh my God, you're just opening a can of worms in itself. Like, you just need to be your own competitor. You need to be your own competition. Look to yourself and be better every day. I think that that's the best strategy. Because if you're comparing yourself with somebody else, you will always be jealous because you don't know where that person is going. Some people are on a different race. I remember one of my uncle putting it on his status at some point, and there's some people that before 10, 12, they're already, I don't know, let them just say before 10, 12, maybe they finished high school, and by 14, 15, you just see a different thing. There was scholarship, they're very good, the genius, like they've entered uni. By 2021, they've graduated. Before you hear, you open it, they are managing director of somewhere, and before you know, they've got 4 kids. Before you know it, they're the CEO of something, and they've made it the same way. Before you know it, you just hear that they're dead, because their race is different. And the truth is, by 40, 50, they might have achieved everything that they ought to achieve. They might have fulfilled purpose. They've got 4 kids. They've done everything, but you don't know that. And then you're looking up to this person who you don't know where they're going to. You don't know where they're coming from. And you're making them your standard. You're going to be running a race you know nothing about. Sometimes you might even run out of your own race. You know, when they're running that betting race, marathon race, you're supposed to give your betting to somebody else. Before you know it, you'll be giving it to somebody out of your path, you know, and you'll be working out of destiny. So I feel like comparing yourself is just not it. There is no reason to be jealous of somebody else. Set your objectives, know what you want for yourself, and step by step, just grow through it. And before you know, you look back one day and you realize that you're not where you used to be. And that's all about, that's it. As long as you're not where you used to be, you're growing. They say, if you can run, at least walk. If you can't walk, crawl. And everybody will all have our own mistakes. We'll make our own mistakes. My mistake is different from Didi's mistakes. Didi's mistakes will be different from somebody else's mistake, you know. And we'll all make our own mistakes. We'll grow at our different paths. And at different points, our paths will meet. You know, our paths will cross. And that does not mean that in my cross, we'll do beautiful things and we might move on and go to something else, you know. But that does not mean that we have to keep, you know, I feel like competition is healthy to a point, and after that it becomes unhealthy. But if we don't need to compete, honestly, I would like we can just run our race. And I feel like it's big enough. The sky is big enough for everybody. We can all be eagles if we want. We can all be whatever we want, you know. But then jealousy is not something to be encouraged. And what do you think? Still put in the comment section, what do you think about the differences between jealousy and envy? Is there a clear difference between jealousy and envy? Tell us what you think. And also share some of your experiences where you have felt jealousy or where you have felt envious of someone else. And yes, let's talk about this. Thank you so much. And we will be right back again next week for another beautiful conversation. Bye.